Welcome to day 7 of our Strong and Lean Challenge. So today we're going to focus on balance poses. Balance poses are really important because they focus on working the muscles in opposition around the hips, okay, and around the torso. So you have to find your center core in order to stay balanced and connected. You're using the front of your body in connection with the back of your body to keep you long and upright. And think about a string coming right through the middle of your spine, up through the top of your head and lengthening up so you find that lift in the torso. Okay, the other thing that's really good about balance poses is thinking about the feet. So you want to be able to really spread your feet nice and wide and think of your feet as triangles. So the bridge of your foot is right underneath your knuckles or where your metatarsals end, okay, your synovial joints there. And then your triangle is your heel, okay, underneath the talus. So if you think about your feet as a triangle, you want to feel a wide base of support across the whole triangle. If your toes are curling in, then you're probably supinating through the foot a little bit and you're leaning more on the outside edge of the foot. So you want to think about grounding that big toe in and feeling the inside edge of your heel on the floor. If your big toes and your first knuckle are starting to turn white, and your pinky toes are barely touching the floor, then you're pronating in. So you want to think about lifting up those arches, and it's really important to have that proper base of support because it affects all the peroneal muscles in your shin, it affects the muscles in your quads, and it translates from the knees up to the hips, into the pelvis, and into the lower back. And as we age, we start to get a lot of laxity in the hips, and you get that sachet side to side, and those red carpet muscles, as we like to call them, become looser, and we end up putting a lot of wear and tear on the acetabulum or the hip joint because it's a ball and socket. We also put a lot of wear and tear on our knees. So the way your feet are positioned is really important. So in your standing poses, try to think about the outside of the hip, inside of the upper thigh, about your core pulling in and finding that center, drawing your rib cage down and in like a V. So your ribs come like I always call them your McDonald's arches. You want to think about those arches coming down into a V to your center point, to your pubic bone and to your pelvic floor. Okay, so we're going to start standing up. It's a really easy recovery day today, but just really try to connect your brain with all your muscles and put purpose into those standing poses so that you can stay focused and think about being long and strong and your hips level and your core connected. So let's get started. You can come onto your mat or directly on the floor. You want to be barefoot for this ideally, so if you're not, slip your shoes off. And we're going to come standing up so that your feet are directly underneath your ASIS, or those little bony protuberance in the front of your pelvis. Okay, so that is hip distance, not as wide as your arse, just as wide as those front bony protuberance. So let's come to standing on our mat or directly on our floor with those feet directly underneath the hip bones and find that triangle. Pick your toes up away from the floor and just grip them away from the floor for a minute to wake them up, and then place them down nice and wide, finding that strong base of support in your triangle. Roll your shoulders down and back, pull the belly in, reach the hands up towards the ceiling, but keep them shoulder distance. So don't crouch in and collapse in that collarbone. Think about shining your collarbone forward. And then you're just going to give a little gentle back bend and then come back up, connecting the ribcage and pulling it down. So we're now one strong line. Reach those fingertips out wide to the side and bring them into the side of your body, and then slide them up and place them on your hip. We're going to transfer our weight to our left leg and begin to roll up through the ball of the right foot, and then find our balance from here so you can see as we lift that leg up using our abdominals. So you can see my hips did not shift with the movement. I didn't collapse or hike. I'm staying nice and perpendicular to the floor. I've got that V connection between my pubic bone and the bottom of my ribs. I've got that length through my spine, my chin is lifted, and I'm nice and tall. Now from here, we're going to add on some movement, so we're going to do some gentle toe taps. So you're just going to lower that toe to the floor and then lift it back up. We're using the muscles in the quad together with the abs and those tiny little hip flexors, the psoas muscles, to lift that leg up, but we're supporting it with our abdominals. There's no movement in the spine, no movement in the pelvis. We're really nice and quiet here. And if you want to help feel that feeling of length, you can reach your hands up overhead, shoulder distance apart. You can reach your hands out to the side, finding that length through the back of the scapula, or you can keep them down by your sides or on your hips. Okay, but we're keeping those hips nice and quiet, the body quiet and still as we wake up those abdominals. You might feel a little bit of a burning sensation in the thigh as that quad is lifting and lowering the leg. But make sure the glute is working here and the inner thigh is working here. Now we're going to lift that leg up and you're going to place the foot on the leg, either below the knee or above it, and then laterally rotate that leg out to your tree. Okay, so in our tree pose, we're using the outside of the thigh to push towards that leg. Now, if you want to and you have that flexibility and balance, you can pick that foot up, says she. You can pick that foot up and place it higher in the leg. And you want to push the inside of the thigh into the foot while you open the knee out and find that opening in the hip. Feel your body long and tall and strong. You can still have those hands reached overhead, out to the side, in at the hips, or on your belly to find that connection. From here, we're going to move into a figure 4 stretch. So you're going to lift the foot away, bring it back onto the top of the thigh this time. So you're either above or below the knee, laterally rotate it, and then we're going to find our balance, relax those toes, and sit the hips back. Feel the length in the spine as you stretch your body forward, pushing your hips back, spreading your sit bones wide, finding that lateral rotation. And just breathe here. Think about your feet, that balance, lifting on the arches, relaxing the toes, lifting the chest, connected on the pelvic floor, and breathe. Sink a little bit deeper on your exhale. Take another deep inhale, and as you come up, we're going to transfer back to our tree. So you can have your foot below the knee, or if your foot is starting to fatigue and the balance is hard, just bring it down to the floor so that your ankle is your heel is above your ankle and your toes are just touching the floor, or below the knee, or cradling the knee. But the heel has to be above the condyle of the knee, the arch of the foot wraps around the condyle of the knee, and the toes below the condyles. Or you can pick it right up and find that strong tree connection. So you might be starting to get a little bit fatigued in the side of the glutes there now, but just take the option that feels right for you. Open the collarbone, lift the pelvic floor, find that length in the body. When you're ready, open your arms out to the side. We're going to take that foot away. Bring it back to parallel, then place it back down underneath your hips. Transfer the weight so you have them equally in both feet. And then we're going to reach the arms back up, reach them right up towards the ceiling, shrugging the shoulders. Reach the right hand a little bit, the left hand a little bit. Both hands up to center, and then pull those shoulders down. From here, pull the belly in, gently lift the chest, lengthening the front of the body. Exhaling, coming back up to our neutral position. From here, we're going to bend the knees, getting a little gentle bend in the ankles and the knees, and just pulse a few times, keeping the knees hip distance apart, and then standing up. Reach those hands out wide, parallel to the floor, and then in towards the sides. Let's transfer the weight over to the right leg, coming up on the ball of the left foot, picking that foot up and finding that support in our standing leg. Pull the belly in, connect the core, open the collarbone, shoulders down and back, and reach those hands back up, nice and wide in your standing pose. Remember, you can keep your hands out to the side or bring them to your hips. Do what feels good, but think about those toes. Relax them. If they started to curl, mine started to curl a little bit. So relax them and think about grounding that big toe into the floor. Push all the metatarsals into the floor. Find that triangle. Find the balance from your core. Now we're going to add those toe taps. So gently lower the leg and lifting it up. See how there's no movement in my pelvis. It's staying still and quiet. All I'm doing is working through the thigh and the abdominals of that left moving leg, while my right leg is strong. My glute is active. I can feel my glute connected there. My inner thigh, especially right up near the groin, is working hard to keep me balanced. My belly is firm because my transverses are on, keeping me in that nice neutral pelvis. My pelvic floor is lifted. I'm going to reach my hands up, And find that length in the spine. Feel that string pulling right through the crown of your head. Relax the toes. Find your base of support. Pulling the belly in, pulling the ribs down. Connecting that V between the pubic bone and McDonald arches. Whoop, just about lost my foot there. Good, and from here we're going to move to tree on this side. So lift the leg up, connect it to the thigh, the knee, the shin, the ankle, wherever you are of your supporting leg, and open it out to the side. So once you're in your tree, if you would like to, you can pick the foot up and slide it up higher, or you can keep it down low, close to the floor, or you can have it just above the knee or just below the knee. You can reach your hands to the side, have them down by your sides, connected to your belly, on your hips, or if you want to challenge yourself more, reach them up overhead, drawing those lats down. Relax your toes and breathe. And you may find one side is harder than the other side. And then we're going to reach those arms out wide if they were overhead. And we're going to pick that foot up and place it over the thigh. Keep that lateral rotation. Remember, your figure four can also be below the knee. And sit those hips back. Relax your standing toes. Push the sit bones wide. Lengthen the sternum away from the tailbone. Finding that nice long neutral spine. And in every exhale, try and sink a little bit deeper. And breathe. Breathe into your supporting leg. Feel your glutes getting warmer as they're connecting that with the adductors of the upper thigh. And breathe a little bit deeper. Take one more inhale, and as you exhale, begin to lengthen back up and come back to your tree, wherever that may be, opening the hips. So remember, we can be down, toes touching the floor, on the calf, above the condyle of the knee, in the upper thigh, or right up under the groin, depending on your stability, your flexibility, and your comfort zone. Find that nice connection, pulling in the core, ribs down, and put your hands wherever feels comfortable for you. Make sure that you're pushing that standing leg into the anchored leg. So you're keeping that strong perpendicular base of support. And then bring your hands down, grab onto the foot, and bring it back down into parallel, and then onto the floor, hip distance apart. Let's pick those toes up and place them down. And then we're just going to gently bend the knees and come up. And bend the knees and come up. Now from there, we're going to use those glutes to spin the toes out to the side, coming into our second position. And then we're going to open out really wide so that we come into a really nice wide lateral rotation. And just gently bring yourself down. Rock side to side a little bit, just checking that your knees are going over your toes. And if they're not, then adjust the turnout of the feet so that your knees are coming over your toes. And once you're down, just pulse a little bit, bringing yourself lower, pushing those knees out wider, finding that nice rotation. You can bring the hands out in front of the chest. You can keep them on the thighs. You can bring them up overhead or open them out. Whichever option feels good for you, you can keep moving them, but keep pulling that belly in. Think about a little bit of a posterior tilt. Once you're nice and comfortable there and you know that that's the rotation that works for you, we're going to put our hand onto the left thigh and just gently bend over to the left. Drawing a rainbow in the sky with those lateral side bends. Feeling the ribs separate away from each other, the intercostal muscles stretching. One more time over to the left, then we're going to open the hands out, reach the fingertips wide, spin that right heel out so it's parallel with the back edge of your mat. Make sure your left foot is pointed forward and come down into our strong warrior two. Pull the belly in, squeeze the right glute, look towards those left fingertips. Find that length and strength in the spine. Lifting the head, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears, sink a little bit deeper if you can. Take another deep inhale, and as you exhale, pick up the right heel and then spin it back so that both feet now are facing the front of the room. If you need to, adjust your stance and then push that heel down, squeeze the glute, reach the hands up to find that nice, strong lunge position. Shoulders are down. Take a deep inhale, And as you exhale, lean forward and then transfer the weight to the left leg and step forward into your chair pose. Bend your knees, find that strong chair. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, push into the floor, stand up tall. Inhale, little baby back bend. Exhale, arms come out wide to the side. We're going to step back to that lunge again. So come up on the ball of the right foot. Begin to tilt forward. Find the support on the left. Step back into your lunge. Squeeze the glute. Reach the hands up high. Stay here and breathe into both sides of the waistline. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Take one more inhale, and on your next exhale, rotate back to your warrior two. Spin the heels so it's parallel with the back edge of the mat. Reach the fingertips out wide. Look towards your left finger. Pull the belly in. Open the hips out to the front of the room, chest to the front of the room. And then your fingertips are to the side, your knees to the side. Push on the outside edge of that right foot to keep a strong, grounded base of support. Relax your toes on the left foot. Now from here, we're going to relax the hands. Pull the left toe in just a little bit. Pull the right heel in, so we're back in that wide sumo squat, a wide second position. And let's do a gentle side bend to the left. And again. And one more for me. Now from there, straighten both legs and we're going to forward fold. So dive the chest forward, come down into a forward fold. Take an inhale in the center. On your exhale, twist over to the left side. Find that nice stretch down the inside of the left thigh. Inhaling and exhaling here. Take another deep inhale, and as you exhale, come back into center. Take a nice deep inhale through the nose, breathing into the back of the rib cage. On your exhale, try and stretch a little bit deeper. Take a nice deep inhale through the nose, and as you exhale, begin to roll the spine up one vertebrae at a time, rounding like somebody's punched you in the belly and articulating through all of those vertebrae all the way up to standing. Let's just pull those heels in a little bit if you'd turned them out, and then come back down. Rock side to side. Check those knees are going over the toes again. Find that really nice, comfortable second position, and then we're going to plie again. So you might want your hands connected in front of the chest. You might want them open. If they're open, think about the position of the arms. The hands are slightly lower than the elbows. The elbows are slightly lower than the shoulders. The elbows are being pulled out wide, open through the front of the chest as the knees open out wide. If your hands are on your thighs, make your arms active. Think about pushing into those thighs, opening the collarbone. If they're out to the side, reach those fingertips away from each other. Then bring your hand to your right thigh, and we're going to come into those side bends on the right side. Draw a rainbow with that left hand up and over. Flexing, up and over. Nice and long through that rib cage, spreading those intercostal muscles nice and wide. Reaching, up and over. Now from here, take a deep inhale. As you exhale, spin that left leg out so it's parallel with the edge of your mat. Turn your right heel in so it's perpendicular with your mat. Bend into that front knee. Open the hip, open the shoulders, reach through the fingertips. Look towards your right fingers for your warrior two. Squeeze the glutes, draw the belly in, lift the chest. Strong in that warrior. And breathe. In through the nose. And out through the mouth. Now from here, you're going to inhale. As you exhale, pick up that back heel. Spin it towards the front of the room. Turn your hips so that they face the end of your mat. Turn your front foot so it's perpendicular with the mat. Push the heel back. Reach the hands up. Strong in your lunge. Squeeze that back glute. Connect the rib cage. Find that length in the lunge. Now inhale, hinge the body forward. Find the weight on that front foot. Begin to transfer the weight to the front foot. Bring your feet in line with each other and sit back to your chair. So the body is long and tall. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, push into those feet, standing up tall, and a little baby back bend. Come back to neutral. Connect that rib cage. Inhale, hinge forward, bend the knees. Transfer the weight back to that right foot. Step the left foot back into your high lunge. Push that heel down, squeeze the glute. Really strong in that lunge, shoulders down and back, belly pulled in. Inhale, and on your next exhale, open back out to your warrior two. Spin that heel out to the back edge of the mat. Toe is forward. and lean into it. Reach those fingertips wide. Look towards your right fingertip. Pull the glutes under. Squeeze the belly. Lengthen the spine. And breathe. If you need to, open your feet out a little bit wider. Make sure you're pushing into that outside edge of your left foot. Shoulders are working really hard here to stretch those fingers away from each other. Knee is working really hard to open out to the side, squeezing those glutes. Then from here, we're going to pull the left foot in just a little bit and the right toe in just a little bit and come back into our wide second position. Let's do a side bend over to the right and lengthen up. Over to the right and lengthen up. And one more time. And lengthen up, straighten both legs. Inhale, turn your toes in just a little bit. Exhale, dive down into a forward fold. Breathe into the back of the rib cage here, in through your nose, and then as you exhale, turn towards your right foot. Stay here and breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, pulling the belly button towards the spine, coming a little bit deeper with your exhale. Take one more inhale, and on your exhale, rotate back into center. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, roll the spine up. Somebody's punched you in the belly, and you're making a big turtle shell shape as you place each vertebrae on an imaginary wall behind you. Let's walk the toes in, heels in, toes in, heels in, toes in, heels. So your feet are between hip and shoulder distance apart. Reach your right arm across your body. Pull, using your left arm as an ankle, pull that shoulder down and back. And release. Reach your left arm across the body. Anchor it with your right arm. Pull the shoulder down and back as you stretch the arm across that body. And release. Now let's reach both hands back behind the back. Clasp the hands together. Squeeze the palms together. Roll the shoulders back. Lift the chest. And then as you exhale, hinge the body forward, spread the sit bones wide, stretch the hamstrings, and come into a nice deep forward fold. Stay here and breathe, stretching those shoulders closer towards the floor. On every exhale, stretching those hamstrings deeper into that forward fold. Staying for one more deep inhale. And on your exhale, use the belly to draw you back up, keeping those hands lifted towards the ceiling until you come all the way standing in your strong neutral base of support. And then pull the hands down and release them. Get our nice strong parallel. We're going to reach the arms out wide to the side and draw medium-sized circles forward, keeping those toes relaxed. And now let's go backwards. 3, 2, 1. Now reach the hands up overhead as we lift the heels coming up onto the toes. And you should find that nice balance across the whole bridge of that foot. Turn the palms towards the front of the room, reach out wide as you slowly lower those heels. Bring them in towards the sides, bend the knees. Inhale, reach it up, hands come up, lift those heels. Reach them out wide, keeping those heels lifted, finding that balance, finding that core. Bring them in towards your sides, lower the heels, bend the knees. One more time, reach them up and lift the heels. That one didn't want to lift. Reach it out wide, out to the sides. And then begin to gently lower the heels, bend the knees, and you're done. Well done. So that was our day 7, focusing on the balance. And you might have really felt that power through your legs, through your feet, through the arch supports. And try and find that connection whenever you're standing, especially like when we're cooking. Or just standing in line at the grocery store or anytime really, and think about that base of support. Try and focus on what your feet are doing and relax them a little bit, and think about the glutes supporting the hip, and just connect with your core and think about that length through the whole spine. And when we're doing our workouts, hopefully you'll feel a little bit more connected, a little bit more grounded, and a little bit more length in your body. And we'll see you tomorrow.